And we are live. Game 3 of Zerg versus Zerg. If you've just joined us, this is the TSL4 round of 8, day 2, brought to you by Razer and Twitch. We are your commentators, DJ Wheat and Apollo. And we have now got game 3 as we've got a tied matchup between two StarTale players, Curious and Life. Let's introduce our players in the northwest position. As the blue Zerg from Team StarTale, it is Life. And in the southeast position, as the red Zerg, it is Curious.
And Curious did show his excellence in Zerg vs. Zerg, even in the TSL, where he managed to beat Lelouch 3-0 in his opening series here played. And he showed a lot of different styles. He went macro style on big maps like Daybreak. He showed a 9-pull even in that series. And he also showed just simply gas pull builds. And once again, opening up with a 9-pull here. And we're going to see, is Life going to go hatchery first, very similar to how we saw in Toon Valley? Or is he going to open up spawning pool first on a smaller 2-player map?
And what do you think about this build, Apollo? Let's talk about it a little bit, as we're going to have the extractor go down there on top of 10 as well, so he can build another drone. But what do you think about this build? And specifically, I ask in terms of its ability, you see, goes with extractor trick, its ability to go beyond its early aggression. Like, how well can you transition into a viable economic build if you're going with this 9-pull?
If you do no damage, it's very, very difficult. If you do get drone kills, it's okay because you get the queen out. You're able to build the drones behind it and catch up quite well. Right. But right now, with the spawning pool going down at a decent time, it looked like a 15 spawning pool going down, is that Life is going to have lings out and popping from his hatcheries. At the same time, the travel distance that's going to be for Curious moving across Ohana here. So even with the hatchery going down, very similar to how we saw Cloud Kingdom come out, the spawning pool is going to finish as the lings pop just about, and they're going to actually come out from the eggs as the lings approach the natural. So this is going to be an okay hold here for Life, and he's going to have an advantage. And this kind of 9-pull is really, really designed to really kill and do damage to opponents who go hatchery first. And if you go spawning pool first, you just have what it takes to hold this off.
And upon seeing those lings, that gives Life the ability to, of course, get a couple of lings out here defensive on his own. He's going to be in a 4 versus 6 situation here on lings right away, but he's got an additional 2 coming out. They'll just be coming a little bit later, and I don't see him really not being able to save this hatchery again, as we have a few drones coming down to help out. And, you know, I think he's going to be able to hold on to this relatively easily.
Yeah, he is losing a lot of mining time, though, but these lings of Curious can never engage into those drones, so that's something that Life is sacrificing to win the war here, and he has to be careful not to lose any, too. There's a lot of lings here by Curious who is droning behind this. The lings come in, drones will have to fight again, but every second, it's like indirect damage being dealt here by Curious for these drones not actually mining, and that will help out. And the question is, did the indirect damage do enough? And to be honest, it did not, because the hatchery is only just now going to go down for Curious, and that's a lot of extra lava here by Life, who gains an early advantage in this map.
Yeah, and actually, in contrast to game number 1, the difference really was the fact that Curious had put down his extractor much earlier and was able to get out speed at a relatively good time that allowed him to, you know, at least continue to apply a little bit of pressure, where I feel like now Curious is done. Like, hit the off switch, because it's not really going to happen. Anything he would throw into this would most certainly get killed, as we have a spine crawler, as we have several lings, the queen blocking the front, and the hatchery's done. So both extractors going up around the same time, and it seems like we've kind of gone back to a slow moment of the game. But if we take a look at the harvester count, you can actually see that Curious, despite his early aggression, somehow squeezes out more drones behind it, and he is anticipating some sort of big attack here, as he does put down a spine crawler at his front. He's, of course, able to move that down once his hatchery's done. So you're Curious in a lot better position than I would have expected him to be, Apollo.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay the way the position he's in here, but now that the lava is available here, depending on what Life uses that lava for, because he actually has like 9 lava available. If he just builds 9 more drones, then, you know, he has a 10 drone lead in this game. But he has a lot of lava just waiting right now, just to kind of feel his opponent out. You know, in Zerg vs. Zerg, you have to be kind of careful with lava. Lava management is something not a lot of people think about, is not just spending it immediately, because if you do that, and if you do build a round of drones, then all of a sudden you just die to mass link. So he waits a little little bit, and then actually adds on the drones. With a second Spine Crawler here, completely safe, and will start to take a little bit of an advantage now the extra lava's down. But as you said, it's not, Curious isn't drastically behind here. He's only a little bit behind. The tech is relatively the same. You could even say that Curious has a tech lead with that Bailey nest coming down first, a couple of seconds faster than his opponent.
And we've only, since we have both queens at the front here for Life, he's actually, oh, there we go. He brought a third queen down there to inject. He missed several injects there on the main. But again, we're seeing that equalization of 36-32. And both players just kind of gearing up for stage 2 of this, you know, of this matchup. But as you mentioned, that Baneling nest now going to be down for both players. It should be interesting to see exactly what he's going to do. This Overlord may actually spot these Banelings, and they do. Such a terrible feeling, Apollo.
Yeah,
you,
that's terrible.
You think you've morphed them in at the perfect spot, and then suddenly, aha, I caught you.
The feeling that's worse than that is going up that ramp and seeing 2 Spine Crawlers, 3 Queens, and Bailings of his own. So that's going to be an awful feeling for Curious. He can't really do anything. He will be going lair any moment now as well. And the Bailings do come up here, but there's so much to defend it. Curious can't actually get in there, and he's even got Lings at home too that were built aggressively, but he can't do anything either here and has to go straight up to lair. And we do see a melee upgrade coming down actually for Life here. Most likely will be going for 1-1 on his Ling upgrades, and then just trying to play a Ling Infestor style. But Curious is going to attempt to go in here. Bailings and Lings waiting. Can he get in?
Well, I thought he would add. Oh, he almost had a nice hit right there, but he knows that he's got to be very, very careful. Of course, with that Spine Crawler. He does manage to slip those Lings right past there. Slow Baneling is going to get hit. Oh, nice job. He retreats that Baneling over to the Lings, and he does get a nice hit there. Now he's going to chase back in, but as long as he can keep on retreating to the Spine Crawlers, that actually doesn't even matter. He's going to go in with the Lings, protects the Baneling. He's going to try to get a big hit inside the main. No pull on the drones quite yet. There's a big pull. He's going to chase those Banelings around. Is he going to split these up? And he does, and only 2 drones are lost. It is not really a massive hit at all. And in the meantime, Curious throws down a 3rd hatchery. There's a macro hatch coming out here for Life. He is currently not mining gas, though. There he puts more guys on the geysers. Right now, it is 48-51 harvesters, but certainly more gas coming out here for Curious, and he's got to get back on top of there. It does look like he's stabilized on his economy.
Yeah, things are looking really good for Curious by just outmaneuvering his opponent, and with that 3rd base coming down, Life is actually going to have to put pressure on that while taking his own 3rd. He will have +1 on his Ling, so it's going to help out a lot in the Ling war, and even the Baling war too. So right now, Life has to do something, because if he doesn't, then Curious has a superior army to be built with Roaches on the way, and Roach speed 2, and he does need to do something. Life looking for that opportunity, and if he puts the pressure on, that'll also give him the freedom to have his own 3rd base up.
Oh, he's trying hard to get good hits with these Banelings here, and there's going to be a chase around. He's going to right into the Roaches. Actually, forget the Roaches, going to go for the 3rd as well. There's going to be a Queen who will most certainly fall. More Banelings trying to come into the back. He morphs some Banelings right in front of these Lings, but it won't matter. The Roaches should be able to clean this up, no problem. They will take some heavy damage. In fact, a few of them are going to go down as well. But ultimately, there's still more and more Lings streaming in here. Needs to get into a little bit better position, but there he holds.
Yeah, he holds, and that's really nice there. And all he needs to do now is just start to build enough Roaches to put a counter-attack on. Because if you think about the way that Life was meant to do that out, he was meant to attack and then drone towards his 3rd base. And with this little attack, Curious can move out. But he has to be so careful of counter-attacks, which is why he'll need to leave a couple of Roaches, a couple of Banglings left. Because +1 Lings will bring down hatcheries so fast. And the counter-attack's going to come in here. There's no Lings or Roaches anywhere close. He needs to get there. He cannot lose this hatch.
No, he can't. He absolutely. He's got a few Lings just coming in right now. The Queen's trying to do their best. Some more Roaches coming in, but I think he's going to be able to get it. He's so close, down to 25, and there it does fall, Apollo. And, of course, there's going to be a counterattack on the 3rd for Life as well, and he's going to be able to take that down. Now, Life put himself in kind of a crazy situation because he decided to spend his initial gas on Infestors. So he does have Infestors, but he has no Pathogen Glands, so he doesn't have Fungals quite yet. He's going to need to hold off as long as he can to try to get some Fungals while he also gets some Roaches out. But an interesting tech choice there for Life. It looks like the timing is actually going to work out in his favor just a little bit, and he will have some Infestors before his opponent. In fact, do we even have the Infestation Pit? It's just finishing up now for Curious.
Yeah, Curious just needs to calm down. He get this third base up. He doesn't want to be too aggressive because the advantage of Life's army composition and upgrades is his mobility to do counterattacks. And if Curious gets too aggressive, then he's going to take unnecessary losses. As we see another Link set. Even the spread of overlords on the left-hand side is missing. That's a big mistake from Curious, not seeing these attacks. And if he gets this hatch, this is really big. Oh my god, what a mistake from Curious not to have those Links, to have the overlords on the left. And he forces a cancel, and all of a sudden, Curious is in a terrible position once again. Of course, his opponent has a faster third base, and with the Infestor tech, that was something that Curious needed to have that third base going down faster than his opponent.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure if this is a strategy of Life, just really trying to cut corners on terms of resources, but he continues to build Infestors without pathogen glands. He seems to be okay in that because he is, of course, on the defensive, building up, and now he's going to put everything he's got over here at the third, and this is the smartest thing he can do because he's doing what Curious really should have done. There was a lot of units, Apollo, that were doing absolutely nothing at that Xel'Naga tower, and he could have had a operational third up and running right now, and with the defense that we see out of Life, he's going to get a third up and running way before his opponent when, frankly, he shouldn't have.
Yeah, really nice use of Contaminate there as well by Curious on the +2 melee upgrade. Nice to see it coming out. Again, we haven't really seen it that much, but we do have 2 Borrowed Infestors. When Infestors come out, the game goes really passive because nobody can really engage. And that's why Curious hasn't gone out, because there's just too many Infestors. He'd lose everything. But there's an Overseer. So he's going to see these 2 Infestors, and he could lose both of them so easily here. Oh, big losses.
Big losses indeed. I mean, he is, of course, going to get a few Infested Terrans out, but that just doesn't really matter. We have another Ling run through. He does try to snipe a Queen, but a double transfuse does allow both of those to live, and the third hatchery does finish up. Finally, Apollo. And it really is a very heavy Roach army at +1 with +2 about to complete against now 8 Infestors that are going to come out. Now, keep in mind, these are Infestors with pathogen glands, so they're coming out with fungals. But we look at the other side, and Life now has at least 3 Infestors, or almost 4, with full energy. So, despite the fact that he made that decision early on, and although it could have been a risky one because he had a lack of units, it seems to be working out quite good for him.
We got 4 Bailings on the right-hand side here by Curious, going for the drone line. Oh, is he going to get it? The units have to defend. Good defense there. I mean, both of these guys just don't have overlords on the left and right-hand side, and Curious actually has an Overseer now. There's nothing on the right-hand side really for Life. There's one overlord, but it doesn't see the right pathway that it needs to.
Yeah.
And Curious is taking a 4th base now, very patiently, just playing it slow. He's got the stronger army. As long as he keeps adding these upgrades to get Carapace out, which is something he's actually missing at the moment. But we do see the Hydra Den finishing up, and I wasn't actually sure who that was for. It was for Life, and Hydras is going to be an awesome mix there to get the Hydra Den, to get that extra DPS. Always brilliant to sprinkle in a few Hydras to back up those Roach Infestors.
I agree, you know, especially in a ZVZ with 2 players that are spreading creep like this. Suddenly they become very, very viable, even with their movement. And really, this is going to come down to a game of execution when it comes down to the battle itself, and then, of course, the reinforcement capabilities of each player behind that. You keep in mind, though, you've got 4 bases about to come up for Curious. Oh, a huge bailing hit, but look at that. The Carapace upgrade saves his ass. Oh, my God. I can't even believe it. He could have killed all of that, but it stays alive, and Life will get a 4th base up.
And indeed he does, but I'm wondering now if Life's going to use his tech advantage, because with Hydras in there and a lot of Infestor energy, he'd love to do the damage necessary to bring down this 4th base, because he is behind in terms of economy, and he knows it. But like I said before, in this kind of matchup, when everything's set up like this, is that it's very hard to actually engage. We do have Lings by Life, though, on the left-hand side, and past 2 Borrowed Infestors. We'll have to follow where they go. And in the center now, these Lings heading right for the Infestors. Won't get anything done. Even Roach is on the right-hand side. Going to bring down Life's 4th base. This is a big move by Curious here.
I really like this. You don't need the whole army. Just send in what'll get the job done. He needs to cancel, and he does. But here comes the rest of the army from the back. Now, this might allow him to set up a good position here between the 3rd and the natural, but there are 4 spine crawlers here as well. And there we go. The fungals laid down on everything Curious has. However, most of Life's ground army is actually out and not engaged in this battle itself. It doesn't matter, though. He is definitely winning thanks to some really, really nice fungals. And look at the supply plummet, 138 to 199, and suddenly Life takes a huge huge lead in this matchup.
Curious lost so many infestors there, unfortunately. He was all clumped up, and it backfired. His plan was to try to catch his opponent out of position as he was trying to come back from defending that 4th base, but it did not work. He got caught out. The fungals changed everything, and the aggressor that happens so often here gets punished from being out of position, being clumped up, and that's exactly what we just saw. And with the tech advantage of these Hydras, a really good fungal on Life's army, a counter-attack from Curious to this top 3rd base as well, which gets shut down immediately. But as you said, the supplies tell the story here. A massive advantage there for Life.
Yeah, you know what else tells the story, Apollo, is that I just find no hope for Curious, and the fact that he just got his +1 carapace finished. And he is definitely behind in terms of the upgrades. Now, he's going to be going for Greater Spire now, which I really do like this. But hold on, we have a huge attack coming out here at the 4th, and the Fungals laying down all over the place. The Infestor count starting to really dwindle here for Life, and it looks like Curious might be able to hold on. There we see a nice burrowed, and he needs, I just don't know. I think the carapace upgrade is enough for him to stay alive. We have 31 more roaches coming out here for Life, only 11 and 2 infestors on Curious's side, and he is going to be able to clean this up. But will he be able to clean up the next attack that is going to inevitably be coming in? Believe it or not, we have some more infestors, actually 2 infestors inside the main or the natural of Life. I don't know if they've already done some damage, but
Curious is at Hive with the Greatest Spire coming compared to just Layer 2. So that's the advantage of having this 4th base up for a lot longer. He has a different or an extra set of economy, an extra set of income here. And that's going to help out a lot because, of course, if Broodlords come into this game, what really does Life have? He doesn't have a Spire down. He doesn't have anything to protect against that. And he doesn't know about it, more importantly. He has no idea about the Spire, has no idea about the Hive. So things are really pressuring for Life right now, but he doesn't know about it.
We got a big attack at the 4th, while we also have an infestor attack at the 3rd as well. Let's focus at the 4th, where Curious is really making a huge assault here. The Spine Crawlers can't get down to actually burrow, so this is a huge bout going in Curious's favor, but here comes the infestors and the rest. Meanwhile, we still have infested Terrans taking out a ton of drones at the 3rd. A lot was lost, and I do think Curious would be wise to get his infestors out of there and just take what he has gotten here, and he is going to go ahead and do that. He's done some significant damage. If you look at the drone count, it still is in favor of Curious, but Life had the drone lead in Apollo, and there he is going to finally take out those 2 infestors who are causing him problem. He's got to keep that 4th base up, and I think he can, but here comes another attack.
Here comes another attack indeed. 2-1 upgrades compared to 2-2. And there are Hydras here, but there's not that much energy on these fungals or on these infestors. Good fungals initially, so he is sorting to do okay, but there's so much more energy on Curious's infestors here. A lot more infested Terrans, a lot more damage output available there, despite not having the upgrades. Great fungals as well, and Curious looks like he's broken the wall, even not using his Greater Spy, his Hive tech advantage. Smashes through here, and he may be able to break down this 4th base. And if that happens, DJ Wait is, you know, there's main is mined out, natural's mined out, 3rd soon to be. So a massive victory if Curious can do this.
I mean, there it is, GG, and Curious surprises